NichBoy and welcome to Pocket, and here are the best games of October 2016, but they weren't enough, so we tacked on November as well. We've lumped October and November together because we missed the October episode due to being in Melbourne for a week at PAX, but that's fine because the episode would have been 2 minutes long anyway. This one's gonna be at least 4. Here's next pick number 1. Civilization 6.
The currents before us are ever changing. We must adapt and press forward if we are to see our journey's end.
Nothing says top game of October more than being up at 4 a.m. screaming at Cleopatra, who thinks you're weak because you haven't razed Cairo to the ground on turn 3. Civ 6 isn't a revolution for the series, but it is an evolution that added so many little things that if you haven't played Civ in a while, you would think to yourself, hasn't it always been like this? Well, it hasn't. The new district system, where buildings and wonders are broken out into their own little areas that get benefits from tiles, rewards the analytical player who plans out their cities before they start, but punishes the 4 a.m. Nick player who accidentally ruined that space where his national park could have gone 60 turns later. Religion has its own victory condition, there's a brand new government system, culture gets its own tech tree, other leaders now have their own hidden agendas you need to deal with. All of these changes make it feel as though each victory you earn is unique to you, rather than you just rush the same old build. All the games on this list are great. Civ 6 is the game I'm still going to be playing in 3 years' time. And Cleopatra will still be an asshole. Pick this if you enjoy turn-based strategy and ignoring your loved ones. Avoid this if you have any measure of responsibility in your life. Next pick number 2. Batman Arkham VR.
Please begin cowl calibration routine. Calibrating.
I've always wanted to be Batman, ever since my mum made me a bat suit for a friend's birthday party where I had toilet tube bat ears and bright yellow undies with birds on them that look like bats if you squint. But enough about last Tuesday. Batman Arkham VR lets you experience all of that without being thrown out of the restaurant. The thing this game has over pretty much every other VR game I've played so far? Polish. It is a proper entry into the great Arkham Batman series. It has a clever, gripping story, and so importantly, it has a wonderful sense of space that also cleverly confines you in a way that feels true to the character. Batman is always either standing heroically on a ledge or zipping to another ledge to stand heroically, and that's how you move about in the game. It looks gorgeous, it will sell VR to your friends who think you wasted your money. And if more games like this don't come out, then maybe your friends were right. Pick this if you want that showcase AAA VR experience. Avoid this if you don't own a PSVR, because otherwise you will have paid $30 for a very nice looking icon on your cross-media bar. Next pick, number 3. Battlefield 1.
Time to go. Whoa, where do you think you're going? With you. Level your gun. Yeah, okay, you're staying here.
I cried. That's pretty much enough for you to know that Battlefield 1 did something right. The nuance and sophistication of its storytelling was so refreshing to see in a genre where bombastic cliches tend to win out. And in fact, the most ridiculous, bombastic mission in this game, Friends in High Places, ends in a way that turns the whole last hour on its head and reads almost as a sly dig at games that take these ridiculous, over-the-top campaigns seriously.
Would I?
Also, it's just stunning. It is jaw-droppingly beautiful, and that immersion cannot be overstated. The vignettes work wonderfully as well. Great pacing, lots of variety as they highlight the scope of the war without it feeling like one soldier changed everything. Except for that bird. That bird's a goddamn hero. That bird deserves a library named after it. I haven't dived into the multiplayer because it's not really my scene, but John and Pete almost daily regale me with stories of their heroicism and valor. I tune out, obviously, but it's very cute when they talk about planes. Pick this if you're bored of all the future space shooters out there right now. Avoid this if you're looking for space guns and robots. Or maybe you could play next pick number 4, Titanfall 2.
But what truly separates the pilot from all the grunts and machines of the battlefield is the bond between a pilot and a Titan.
2 shooters on this list. What is happening? I'll tell you what's happening. Titanfall 2 isn't a shooter. It's a puzzle game wrapped in a boy and his robot story, covered in a platformer, disguised as a shooter. Titanfall joins Battlefield 1 as being a shooter that A, I had no expectations of its single player to do anything special, and B, was a short, tight experience that never outstayed its welcome. I love games that can introduce an idea, explore it in the fun, weird ways it can be explored, then drop it before you're bored with it to introduce something even wackier. The story is kind of throwaway and the voice acting feels tilted and a bit B-grade, but my relationship with my robot was endearing, and each level is its own set piece with a really unique mechanic every time. It was a lot more than I was expecting from this game, and also having nailed the wall running, boosting, kinetic movement, it ended up making Call of Duty feel like the more sluggish, heavy shooter. It's a real shame that more people didn't pick it up, especially since it went half price in some sales 3 weeks after it came out. I've got my fingers crossed for a threequel. Pick this up if you're bored with the standard shooter. Avoid this if lithe, fun, energetic, innovative shooters give you a direction. But there were 2 big games that missed my list just because I haven't played enough of them. I plan on finishing Dishonored 2 over the Christmas period. I do say finish, but I really mean start, since the game ran like shit on PC when it came out, so I barely got through the first level. I loved the first game, and I loved the Clockwork Mansion mission I played a couple of months ago, and the PC version has been patched, so I'm looking forward to making the bodies hit the floor in Dunwall, but very quietly. The second game, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is Final Fantasy 15. You've heard me speak at length with Bajo on Wednesday about the parts of the game I liked, and you can watch that video on our YouTube channel, so I won't bore you again, but suffice to say, more awkward, quasi-erotic photos need to be taken. October, November didn't nail everything though, and for me, there was one big letdown. Mafia 3 had the best opening of an open world game in years. Cinematic, pseudo-doco style storytelling, nuanced, interesting characters, flat out bombastic soundtrack. But after that first splash wore off, we were left in a bland open world with bog standard mission structure and stupid AI. The game didn't keep its initial bold grasp on me, which is disappointing because there was a lot of interesting narrative potential there. I think we'll see the effects of how this game dealt with race in other titles that are in development now, but it's not getting my pick on any top 10 list this year. So that is it for my favorite games of October and November. What are your picks from the last 2 months? What let you down and stomped on your dreams? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more daily gaming news, gameplay, and discussion. And until we next list games, my Pocketeers, NichBoy out, which will actually be very soon, because it's nearly the end of the year. I dare say they're doing this because they don't quite have the numbers of players sticking around for multiplayer that they would like. But if pulling the players on Xbox One and PC does work, it should liven up the servers. Just, there'll be one side that's way better than the other side. Because that's how it'll work, right? It's PC on one side, Xbox on the other.